Well, hey everybody, welcome to the Go Team weekly coach call. And thanks so much for being part of this. Thanks for taking the time out of your busy schedule, because I know you're a busy coach and you're a busy person and you are just working so hard to help people and help bring help and hope and health to people all around you. So thanks for being here. Thanks for taking the time to just sharpen the saw, as Stephen Covey refers to it. Is we're just taking time to really help fine tune and maybe refine what we do in order that we can just be better at what we do. So I'm Dan Bogmarovich. Welcome. I'm not sure. Let's see. I didn't see anybody here that is a new person. So y'all are established folks. So welcome. Can we give a shout out to the old coaches? Let's give a to the old coaches. Woo! Anybody there? Yeah. All right. Sorry. Let's see. Let me see what I got here. I want to see if I can actually look at you guys while I do this. I don't think I manage participants. How do I see? I think it's because I'm doing the share a new window. No. All right. I don't think I can actually see you guys, and that's okay. Yeah, welcome. Shout out to the old coaches and shout out to the new. Why not? So shout out to any new coaches who are on our team, even though they might not be here, missing out on all this awesomeness, but that's okay. All right. I want to keep this short and sweet tonight. There we are. I can actually see a few people. Let's talk a little bit. Once again, we've got this opportunity to equip busy coaches with the essentials to build thriving businesses that help people achieve their goals and live healthy and fulfilling lives. That's what we do. That's what we're always going to do. So we're here to try to equip you with the essentials. We're going to try to keep the noise down to a minimum. So that's good stuff. Let's see. Very good. What we're going to do, also want to talk through this too, every time a little bit. You're going to get a little bit of our process every time we hit these calls now. Part of what we want to do is just to remind ourselves how we're doing this and what we're doing to kind of grow our businesses. And so we're going to talk really fast once again through the customer and coach process. So our customer process, this is what we do. We're simple and we're consistent. We start with a free challenge, number one, which is starting today for many of us. We're started the Rex Kwon Do Challenge. We'll talk a little bit about that a little bit later. But then we're going to move into a value webinar, which will be this Thursday, which we'll also talk about a little bit later. Head into a paid challenge starting later this month. Have an opportunity webinar. And then finally, invite people to be a coach at that webinar. And then they become part of the coach process, which then moves us over to the other circle, as you can see that. So they become a coach. And then we send them through Quick Start training, which is happening actually, Quick Start training is different, sorry. But then we have Coach Basics after the GSR. So GSR, we have Course 101, Coach Basics, Rock the Basics group, moving then into Course 201 and 301. So just kind of let everybody know that's sort of how we move on. We will even have a 401 eventually, but that's our process. All right, so good stuff. Going to keep that as a reminder out front. So we've got, once again, the chat shout out. The chat shout out. Come on now, chat shout out. There we go. So it's good stuff. So what we're going to do with this, hold on, let me check. I just got a message. Who did I get a message from? Sorry. Not now. Bam. Good. Okay, that is weird. Mute that real fast. So, shout out. What I need for you guys to tell us real quickly here is, in your experience, what holds people back from inviting? What holds coaches back from inviting? So, can I have you please type in the chat, which is the chat shout out, what holds people back the most? Rejection, fear of rejection, rejection. So we got 3. Anybody else? Not knowing enough. That's a good one. Anybody else? What else we got? Thinking, trying to think how to start a convo. Oh, that's good. Yep. Nice. Okay, so this is going to be a helpful call, I think, because we're going to talk about these things, and I think we've got this pretty well set. So here's the thing: overcoming the fear. I'm so scared. Sorry, this is totally a ripoff of Jared. What's his name? Jared, the guy who makes very funny videos. Caleb Thomas. That's his name. Caleb Thomas. He does way better job of that, but that's about as close as I could get. Anyway, so this is a trend, and it's really great because it's pretty much how you or what you exactly said in those things. The two most common fears that I think I've run into, and maybe you found others. Tyler found maybe another one there, but I think that the trend are these two specific things. Number one fear by far is rejection, and I think everybody would probably agree with that. Money is always an issue, which is a form of rejection, right there, Amy. People say they're too busy. Again, a form of rejection. So number one, rejection is a thing. So you got this thing you want to offer, and you want to really genuinely help them, but then it's ultimately, I get rejected. It feels so bad. Inside you're like, oh man, I just want to help you, but ultimately you're still rejecting me. So that is that's an issue. We'll talk about that in a second. And then the other one, especially as you are you don't have to be a new coach to necessarily sound dumb. I sound dumb all the time. But you can, especially up front, you really feel like you sometimes can sound really dumb, or you just don't know enough, like Stacy said. I think that's another particular area that can be a problem for folks. So here's the deal. Let's talk about rejection.
Why is he going outside again? I don't know.
Here's that. Is that, yeah. Here's that. Let me check here. I'm going to try to mute folks real quick. Good deal. And, okay, so rejection, you won't like me or you won't respect me. Now, depending on your relationship with somebody and as you approach them, this fear of rejection, if the concern tends to be, or is this whole idea of you won't like me, generally there's, obviously they're in a position where they've got some form of you have some form of relationship with them, whether it's a friend or a family member or whatever like that. And so what we tend to do in this situation is we make it all about us, right? We tend to make it about us because ultimately we're even putting, and I don't know if you've ever been like this, but I automatically put the words in their mouth even before I say a single thing to them, because I immediately, I'm already thinking, oh my gosh, they're going to think I'm so dumb. So I remember my very first initial invites were like, I was trying to invite people and I was just reaching out and I was doing straight up, effectively cold. It's not cold calling, but cold messaging. Like people aren't interested at all. I just find some names on my Facebook friends list and I just start messaging. And there's no interest whatsoever, and bam, I just start, hey, you want to join my challenge? I've been doing this thing. You want to join my challenge? And oh my gosh, especially when it was people like, and I would sort of draw that line if I started to have a friendship with them, and then I was like, and the more and more I started to kind of wear those people out, I'm starting out further and further, and I'm just so fearful because I'm like, oh gosh. So can anyone relate to that? Can you type that in the chat if you feel like before you even send the message, you've got this sense of they're probably going to say no. Yep. So before you even get it out of your mouth or even into a message, you're already kind of defeating yourself, right? Because what's happening is you're really concerned mostly about their response to you. Right? And that's the deal. When we are so concerned about the response being the issue to the offer, what tends to happen in our spirit? We shrink back, we get fearful, we sort of go in defensive kind of mode, we do some things that are maybe, or we say some things that are like we back ourselves into corners. All this kind of stuff really, really matters. So, which is important why, and Stacey points that out, why our mindset training, and when we do our whole personal development, particularly when it comes to, and I'm going to recommend some resources at the end of this, but when it comes to really developing a comfortable posture as we deal with people, and it has everything to do with this next thing, is because our main concern is that they are going to say no. They're going to say no. And if we take the time to kind of divorce the feeling, and this is hard, especially for us in the beginning, we're going to talk about a little bit about how sales can be a comfortable thing. For some of you who have never actually done much selling, I'm going to convince you that you already do. Okay, in just a second. So, but the issue is if we can kind of separate the response of the person from our worth. Okay, so our worth and our the more we get used to this, that the no is also not just a no, and it's not a no forever. It might be just a temporarily no, or it might be, hey, I'm just not ready right now, or whatever, or maybe you just need a little bit of work on how you're approaching folks. Okay, so that rejection, how you say no. Now let's go to the other one real fast here. I will sound stupid, and then we're going to talk about some solutions to these things. Okay, I'll sound stupid. Now, here's the thing about rejection when it comes to the I will sound stupid set kind of thing. So when you get started in coaching, if you've ever gone into the back office and you've like looked initially when you're new and you like look at everything and everything looks like a kind of a foreign language, except there's just like a lot of numbers and it's like, I don't PV, what does that mean? Or I don't even know. And then Success Club, what does that mean? And SC points and SC10, SC5, I don't even know what all that stuff means. So here's the thing. Then you get to a customer and you hear us talk about, hey, it's really important to invite. And then your customer, the person, or excuse me, a prospect, has this idea and they start talking to you and they ask you a question. And you go, well, what about this? What about if I order something and how do I cancel? And you don't know how to answer that. You're really then shy about, I'm going to sound stupid. I don't even know, whatever. And so then you'll even back more away from actually engaging in this because, guys, here's the deal. Our brains are wired to avoid pain and seek pleasure, right? We avoid pain and we seek pleasure. And so if something makes us feel uncomfortable, particularly sometimes inviting, we can then equate pain with inviting, right? And then it becomes a situation where we don't want to then invite anymore. We just go, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. It just makes me feel bad because they always reject me. That's always what they do. Blah, blah, blah. Or I always feel stupid because I don't think I know what to say. Okay. We need to rewire the brain. I'm going to talk about that in just a second too as well. Rewire the brain. But in that process, here's the thing you need to cut yourself some slack with. If we're on a graph here, and I couldn't really represent this very well. I couldn't figure out how to do it in Keynote exactly. But, okay, so if the left axis or the y-axis, guys, is fear, okay, and there's numbers there, how much fear necessarily. It's 100%. I'm completely afraid. I'm paralyzed, okay? And then on the x-axis, that's knowledge, okay? This is particularly related in the book called The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. But as we progress in our knowledge, what happens to our fear? It decreases, okay? So as you learn more about the business, as you learn a little bit more about what to say, as you've had some experience with some customers, as you've maybe signed some people on as either customers or coaches and things like that, you get more comfortable, and then your fear begins to decrease. Now, I'll be real, it never probably fully goes away as you're proposing or kind of talking to people. There's a little bit of that nervous edge that sometimes can happen. But the truth is, you have to, as a newer coach, you have to cut yourself some slack in order to understand that you're going to feel some of that fear initially because flat out, you don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you're doing, and that's okay. We all have started like that. That's what Coach Basics, Quick Start, and of course your upline are for. Those things are for you to begin to feel more and more comfortable. But I'm going to tell you this. There's only one thing that teaches you how to not feel like I sound stupid, and it's honest. It's just by doing it. And I know initially sometimes you're like, gosh, but part of the thing you can do, especially in your warm market, when you're dealing with your initial people, especially when it's family members or friends and things like that, when you're trying to kind of deal with them initially first, ask them. Say, look, I'm trying to get better at this. Will you be my guinea pig on this? Because I don't even know what I'm talking about sometimes. And so you can help me. I'm ready to, I would love to help you I would love you if you would help me to rock and roll on this thing, but I need your input and I need you to be that person I can sound stupid with. So that's sometimes a thing to help you a little bit in this as well. Now, let's look real quick here to belief. I'm going to have you talk for just a second about, or I want to talk to you for just a second about belief because it's key. There's two areas that we really need to make sure that we have strong belief in, and this also takes time. Now, and shove this out in the chat, please, if you would. Who initially, when you started taking Shakeology, when you started initially using Shakeology as a shake, you were using it was great, but then, your very first moments of talking to somebody else about potentially using it, did you have that moment of, okay, I know I'm paying for this, but I think it's a little expensive, and I'm not sure I can convince these people that I know it's worth it to me, but I'm not sure it's going to be worth it to them. Has anybody felt that tension when it's like, man, I feel like I'm almost cheating them because it seems so expensive, right? Or whatever, right? Yeah, totally. So here's the thing. And as we priced out the whole, the use of this, it is exactly. Early on, but not now. That takes some time. Claire has been doing this for a while, and it does take some time to convince of the value and belief in Shakeology as exactly. You have to try again, Stacy. Go. That was velo. Ha ha. Oh, no. Okay, there we go. That's all about value. Very good. But that belief in Shakeology is going to make or break your business. If you don't feel confident in Shakeology, guys, it's going to make or break you until you can get to the point where you feel somewhat comfortable in the idea that it's worth what it costs. And I would encourage you to go back into the back office and watch several of the videos so you understand the research and all that goes really into. So you can go through Shakeology Proven video. You can go through some of Tony's videos, of course, the funny one, which is, the brief, the really short one everybody knows. But there are a lot of great things and a lot of great, particularly great ingredients that go into Shakeology that you and I need to be able to understand. And we don't have to explain every single one of them, but in order to convince yourself that, yes, you know what? And also, on top of that, stories. Gathering stories of people who have had success. If you don't have those yet on your own, we have them as part of our team. I have a person who went from 200 HDL level 252 down to 212 in 30 days because she just took Shakeology. She wasn't doing anything different else with her diet, and she didn't exercise she didn't even exercise during that period. Went down 40 points in 1 month, did blood test before, blood test after. I know so she can totally attribute it. She did her own little test, clinical test by herself. So there are tons of stories out there, not only of weight loss, of course. I've got my own story with that. I did P90X and Insanity for a full year before I dropped my 20 pounds. And the reason why I dropped my 20 pounds, I started taking Shakeology. And initially with my P90X2, I did not initially do a whole lot more on my diet except for Shakeology. 20 pounds dropped within the 3 months of P90X2 using that. So totally have to give some credit to that. So the more you can believe Shakeology, then you're going to be able to recommend it and not sell it. Okay? So I'm going to recommend one more thing to you guys is to stop selling. Just stop it. Okay? Stop selling the stuff. And here's the trick. Part of what we do with our whole system is we're trying to provide value. So as you're talking to people and as you're using, particularly say a free challenge, so we're doing this Rex Kwon Do challenge, right? It started. You're interacting with people and you want to start to get to know their stories a bit. So here's the thing. My challenge to you guys is use these challenges to get to know your folks. If you just put people in these groups and you don't talk to them, it's like literally having a whole bunch of, like if you're at a car, let's say you're a car salesman, you had a whole bunch of people come through your lot and you really never said much of a word other than, hey there, how you doing? Nice to see you. Hey, that's about it. And of course, a car salesman is not going to really probably make a sale that way if they don't get to know their story a bit, okay? And what they specifically need. So here's the thing: they could be wandering around your lot as a car person, but they don't even know where the trucks are, and that they're looking over here in they're in little compact car land, but they need the trucks. You need to ask them, hey, so what are you looking for? Well, I have to haul heavy things, blah blah. Great. Well, we've got these 3 different models of trucks. Let's go take a look at these and see what we can kind of discern. This might help you. Same kind of thing in these challenges. If you are able to discern for people what their need is and what specifically they're looking to accomplish, you start asking that now. If this is all listed too, and we'll make sure we've got that linked in the group. So you remember this, guys. This is in the How to Run a Free Challenge guide, is that if you're not asking those questions to your folks, it's going to be an issue where you won't be able to then offer solutions later when we get to the whole idea of offering people this, like a 21J challenge coming up soon here. You won't be able to recommend anything because you really won't know anything. So we're going to ask you to start asking questions and start listening. Start listening to your people and seeing what their needs are. And the thing is, I just listened to this. It's very, very interesting. I'm going to use this phrase. Be careful that you listen to all of the rest of this phrase. Darren Hardy, I'm listening to a book called The Entrepreneur Roller Coaster right now for my personal development. And he says this. He says that you need to get in bed with your customers or your prospects. And it was like, what? Oh, what does that mean? So like I said, go to the end here. So look at these gentlemen, all their awesomeness with Darren Hardy. So get in bed with your customers. And what that means is, what is holding your prospects up at night? What, like if they're worried about something, if they've got concerns, if they've got issues that they're trying to deal with. So, maybe for some of you who are moms, it's like, okay, the person or the people that I'm really looking out to try to kind of help, I'm seeing a trend because the stage of life that we're in, people who are postpartum. Great. How do I deal with that? How do I help people? Or, you know what, hey, we are people, maybe we're way past that. We're like actually hitting more towards the empty nester thing. And, we're cooking just for 2 people now. We used to cook for a family. Now we're just cooking for 2. So sometimes we just run out and we're doing fast food and blah, blah, blah. You can appeal. I know several of you who fit that specific demographic right now, that you could nail it on helping people, particularly with advice when it comes to helping, particularly when it comes to nutrition and that, and whether it's free challenges or whatever. But start listening to what your customers or potential prospects and people who are like you, because that's what we do. We attract people who are like us to some degree. And then start helping them provide solutions for them. And you're going to be in much, much better shape. So you're going to ask the good questions. Now, as you're asking questions, you might say, well, Dan, what kind of questions should I be asking? Or what, how do I ask better questions, and how do I get as I think it was Tyler said, or is it Bryce? But how do I know what to start to say in this whole thing? But we will equip you, because that's what we do. Listen to last week's call. Jason Schubring talked about, make that jump. Okay, yeah. Wait, what do you mean by that, Stacy? Make that jump, so listen to last week's call, and so digging the art of asking good questions. And that's really, really important, because the more we're able to ask better questions, the less we actually get backed up into a corner. So we've all probably been in that situation where we've maybe given too much information and not asked enough questions, and then we do get backed up into a corner. So we're like talking, it's like we're rattling off all the benefits of Shakeology. Bam, 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 bam. And ultimately, they are like, their main concern is cost, of course, a lot of people. But what you haven't done maybe is help them ultimately connect the value of Shakeology with the value to their lives. So let me just give a quick example. Let's say the person is struggling with, let's go to that empty nester syndrome right there. Okay, so it's a gal, and she is working at, she works from like 8 to 6 or whatever. She gets home, and her husband's schedule is a little bit different. So sometimes he gets home like 7:30-ish, so they don't really eat sort of together. So here's this issue. So what do I do? What do I do with that? And how do I make sure that I'm using, or how do I prep meals in that respect? Well, I think what you could then do is like, okay, well, I think it has something to do with, spacing your meals out, so you're able to, to cook for maybe for you for most of the day, and make sure you've got that all set. But then those final meals, maybe it's like you do a Shakeology when you get home, and then you wait that out, because he's going to go home at like 7:30. Maybe you guys eat a little bit later, and you eat at 7:30 together because you want to eat together, but you're starving when you get home. There would be a good option for you to say, look, man, we've got this thing. I think it would really help you fight your cravings when you get home, because you're probably ravenous by then, because maybe you've waited a little bit too long between your snack or whatever, that I think we can help you. And I think, this Shakeology might be a very simple, fast meal, not a ton of calories, but at least get you past that. So then you could eat with your hubby and provide a good, give you some good nutrition, so it fights your cravings, so you're eating better, blah, 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 blah. I'm just giving an example that might be able to help you, because you've listened to their story about the things they struggle with. So part of her thing that she was struggling with maybe is they don't get to eat together because she's so starving when she gets home. So there, you just provided a solution. So the more we can listen and then point to solutions and go, hey, would you like to take a look at what all that goes into Shakeology? And then you send her the Tony Shakeology video, and she gets a chance to see what that's all about. Wow, all that stuff goes into that. And then, of course, it gives the price too. That's really cool. Anyway, so that's kind of an idea of you asking good questions. Now, I'm going to ask, or one final thing here, guys, that I really want to make sure that we cover. You are called, I believe this, to be strong and courageous. That is specifically, recommend to a friend. There you go. See, Amy. See, I didn't even know. I was totally talking about your friend, which is great. But I believe that we're called to be strong and courageous. And I believe, and that is specifically a biblical thing. It's from Joshua 1:9, for those of you guys who are into that. And I think, whether you believe that or not, I believe that it is a true thing. That we can be strong and courageous, because if we are living for a purpose maybe that's beyond ourselves, or living for a bigger cause, of maybe helping people or helping this world be a better place, however you want to believe that, I believe that it's even bigger than that. Here's my question. Are you ready? I want y'all to wake up for just a second if you've been asleep, because I'm jibber-jabbering a lot. If there's one point I want you to listen to on this specific call, it's this point. And I want you to ask this question of yourself, because I have had to wrestle with this question. Are you ready? Here we go. This could ruffle a few feathers. Are you willing to put others' opinions of you aside in order to genuinely help them? Are you willing to put others' opinions of you aside in order to genuinely help them? The issue is, too often, because we mentioned about this whole sense of like what others people are thinking about us and whatever. And here's the funny thing is, it's really funny. So let's say you did do some kind of an invite, and especially if you did it right, you know, hey, we're doing this free challenge, or hey, we're doing this 21-day challenge. I don't know if you saw that I'm doing it. Love for you to join us. With just let me know. Yeah, family is the hardest. Would you like to hear a little bit more about it? That's it. You don't have to do, hey, let me give you all the details and all this stuff and blah, 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 blah. If they don't get back with you, you can still send one more message. You go, hey, just wondered if you got my message about the challenge that's starting up. That's what a professional does, follows up one more time. If they don't answer again, or if then they say, hey, you know, it's not it, I'm not feeling it at this point, well, hey, could I maybe put you down for next month? We do these every month. Okay, then you've got somebody already on your list. And if you're using Asana, by the way, which we're going to get more and more into, that will help. Okay, but the thing is, if you are so concerned about their opinion of you, okay, that you then shrink back in fear, I'm going to ask you to live by this mantra once again: is to be strong and courageous. Be strong and courageous. It's okay. And the thing is, like, if you did ask them that one time, I mean, let me just, again, frame this. You aren't going, hey, would you spend $5 billion on my new scheme that is, I have created lasers that go on sharks, and this is going to be awesome. It's going to be Dr. Evil made it, but I have it now in real life, and it's going to be amazing, and I want you to invest $5,000 in this. It really doesn't benefit you, but ultimately you can maybe make some money someday. You're not asking them that. You're asking them to try to get healthy a little bit, but all you're doing is say, hey, we do these 21-day challenges. It's a workout at home situation, and we can help you with nutrition. Would you like to hear a little bit more? If you frame it in that, and if that ruffles your feathers, guys, if that ruffles your feathers, I'm just going to say it. You need to put on your big girl pants, put on your big boy pants, and send that message, because there are friends and relatives in your life who need your help. They need what we have to offer. And trust me, take a quick cruise on YouTube and search P90X results, T25 results, 21-day fix results. Take a quick peruse on there and see how many people who have been helped in this stuff. And if you aren't willing enough to help save somebody's life because you're worried about, oh my gosh, the next time that they get out of math, all they're going to be thinking about between now and then is how I'm just into this sales thing, and that's all I am. I'm such a salesy person because I sent them one message, one message on a Facebook or an email. Guys, they aren't thinking about you as much as you think they are thinking about you. They are thinking about themselves most of the time, okay? They aren't going to think about you a whole lot less or a whole lot more just because you send them one or two Facebook messages about joining some kind of a challenge group, okay? So I would just tell you, yes, there you go. I think we just tend to get so worked up about, oh my gosh, especially when it comes to family. It's like, oh my gosh, I got to see them at Christmas. And oh my gosh, if I ever mention anything about this, they're going to be, they'll think I'm one of those weirdo salespeople and blah, blah, blah. No. Okay. Just be real, be professional, send a quick message. Don't make a big, huge deal out of it, but do offer help. Okay. Because ultimately, guys, I'm going to come back to this. It's not about you. It's really not about you. You have too many people in this world that need our help. And this is exactly. And if they are ready, it's totally worth it, Stacy. That's a really good point. If they're ready, and we're offering what we have genuinely, and we know that this stuff works. Guys, we're not selling snake oil. We know this works. Just got done with a 21-day group just now and had a bunch of people lose a bunch of inches, a bunch of pounds. It's so great to hear. It's so great to hear. And that's what we do, okay? So want to remind everybody once again, today started for many of us this Rex Kwon Do Challenge. Can I get some quick feedback from any of you who have been running these groups yet? Any feedback in the chat real quick? And also, I'm sorry, I will open up to quick questions at the end about the whole inviting and fears thing. But can I get any feedback? Are we getting good response, no response, some response, any response with regards to Rex at this point? Claire, anybody? They love it. Laughing a lot. That's good. Claire, you got anything? Some response. Okay, what kind of response, Bryce? Are they doing it? Are they doing the workout? They love it, laughing a lot. Good. Funny and challenging, not all. Yeah. That's what's happening with us. We've got 2, 3 jam. We have someone who did, yeah, that's great. I had some people get up to, like I had a gal do 7 times. 7 times. Like, dude, that's crazy. So, yeah, crazy stuff. So very, very cool. I think we're getting a good response. Yep. Do you have some doing it a few times? Yeah, that's good. So Bryce, I just would encourage you, if you don't have people in there yet really responding yet, it's probably because they don't even know maybe where it's at sometimes. Like we mentioned in the coach guide, is to make sure you message the people who you did add to the group, and then just message them, hey, just making sure you know where to find the post for tomorrow, because I didn't see it in there today, or whatever, just so you can kind of remind them where it's at. Because a lot of people, they are not as Facebook savvy as we are. We know we use groups all the time. Some people don't even know what a group is, okay? So make sure, yep, shared it with all my people. Great, great, great. Good stuff, okay? So that's really important. Make sure you're making those connections. Like I said, this is your chance to create relationships with people. This is how you're going to fill that sales funnel up the top, like we mentioned in that video. And if you saw that I posted last week, or the week before, the sales funnel's got to be wide at the top. Get all those people in. We've got over 150 in mind right now, which is great. The more we can, offer value to those people, that's great. This Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern, you're going to be inviting people to 5 Ways to a Leaner You. I'm going to be posting that in our group today or tonight, just letting people know that that's going to be happening tomorrow. 55 out of 97 people saw it, says on the post. That's great. Good. So 5 Ways to a Leaner You. This is where we are going to present the challenge pack, okay? We're going to mention 21-Day Fix. We'll also mention probably PiYo as well because it's on sale. And we'll also mention the Beachbody On Demand for people who are maybe already have 21-Day Fix. The big deal is the reason why we're recommending the 21-Day Fix is because we want people to have portion control. Portion control. Portion control. Say it with me. Portion control. Just kidding. But the idea is if we don't give them that portion control and help with nutrition, the rest of the stuff, they can do all the workouts they want. They will not make progress if they don't get their portions in line. It's not going to happen, okay? It's 70 to 80%, depending on who you talk to, of the formula. And if we don't get it straight, it's really, really hard, okay? Just a little shout out in the chat. Who's going for the bobblehead? I call it the Shailene large eyebrowed bobblehead. For some reason, like Shailene's got these ginormous eyebrows in this bobblehead. But who's going for the Shailene bobblehead this month? Who's going to hit Success Club 5? Tyler's going to do it. Stephanie's going to do it. Claire's going to do it. So I'm one of those guys. 1 point away, says Miss Stacy. That's good stuff. I'm one of those guys that am motivated by cheap, dumb stuff like this. Like you can like offer like bigger prizes and stuff like that, and I'm like, I don't know. But if you give me a bobblehead, I'm all about it. So I'm gonna make sure I've got Sean, I got Tony. Got to make the trifecta happen. Eventually, I want to see Sagi the Beast bobblehead. That's going to be awesome. Someday that will be happening when he releases Body Beast 2, which will hopefully be soon, which will be great. I'm betting we hear about something about that at Summit this year, kids, just so you know. Okay, so next week, wow, I'm sorry, I didn't change this. This is over from last week. We're still working on the topic for next week, and I'm so sorry. I've been out of town, so we're still working on that topic, but it will be amazing and engaging. It'll be awesome. It's going to be probably a little bit more discussion-based than like this presentational style that I did today, but that is going to be next Monday, April 20th at 9 p.m. Eastern. Please, folks, part of what we need to do is to help normalize and have people. So if they hear something from me or presenter or anybody who talks, your new coaches, your people who are doing this, if they hear an idea, like Bryce, I'm going to give a specific that for you about your new challenge. If that was helpful for you, imagine like if you have another coach helping you in that. Oh, hey, yeah, we should probably connect with our folks, or whatever. Those kind of things are going to make a big difference in your business as they hear these things from us, and maybe not just from you, that third voice that really helps this become then a team and not just like the individual to the coach, the upline, okay? So just going to make sure we're on that. All right, we are done. I'm going to say to you this, hasta la vista, babe. Oh, yes, feedback on Rock the Basics. Let's do that real quick here. So Stacy wanted that. How are we doing, guys? Hold on. Feedback from Rock the Basics. How are we doing so far? And please be honest with us. We honestly don't need sunshiny. We need you to like give us like your yes, just like Stacy says. We want honest feedback versus like, oh, it's so great, everything's wonderful, it's awesome. If it's really not, we just need to know how we doing, everybody. Especially some of you guys who are participating in it. Anybody? And so say, yeah, Amy, I felt bad for you. Yeah. Love the power hour. That's good. Bad weave. Bad weave for you? Need to catch up. Bad. Okay, good. A little behind from spring break. Yeah. Failing my part. It's okay. We're not supposed to be perfect. Okay, how are you guys feeling about the length of each day's content? Is it good? Is it too much? Is it not enough? Would you like something different? Would you like more, I don't know. Would you like some more pictures? Videos? Would you like, I'm thinking like flannel graph, Stacy. What do you think? More flannel graph? Yeah, that'd be good. Videos might be good. Yeah, I'm my only concern about videos sometimes is people can't scan a video. They have to watch the whole thing, and then it becomes on our time versus their time sometimes. So maybe there have been Coach Basics groups that have been a video every day that I've seen. Those drive me crazy because it's like I don't have a time to watch your 8-minute video every day. Okay. But I do have time to scan through and then maybe an 8-minute video once a week. Sure. Or twice a week, maybe. That might be something where we might be. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. No. Yeah. We got you. That's good. Yeah. Stephanie, we got that. Oh, wait, maybe you just sent that to me. Yeah, no, you sent it to all. That's good. Okay. So that's good feedback. We'll continue to push this through. We'll continue to rock it. I do have to say once again, hasta la vista. And thank you, Go Team, particularly my coaches who helped me get to. I'm going down on Wednesday, down to the Moon Palace with my wife. We're going to celebrate 20 years of marriage down there, guys. Thank you for giving me that gift and a chance to really spend a beautiful time in a beautiful place with a beautiful lady. So yeah, it's really exciting. It's a little bit early. We're actually, it's all the way in June, but we're going to call this our 20-year celebration down there, and we get to celebrate with a whole bunch of cool Beachbody coaches, and Shanti and Tony and Autumn and Carl and all those people. So it'll be great. So thanks, guys. Very, very excited for you. I hope you continue. Oh, by the way, Emily Allison, first customer. I just saw Emily. So first customer today, which is really, really cool. And she's been teaching Body Combat for us along with Claire and Liz, which has been awesome. And so yay, good job, guys. We're going to start talking a little bit more about recognition. Team Symbiotic has done a great job with that. We've not really done much of that. I'd like to talk a little bit with some of you about how to make that happen. I'm going to talk to Stacy and Jason, and we'll try to figure out what that looks like. So we've got some recognition a little bit each week. I think sometimes people do really like to hear their names, or, it's like, hey, I did something. I'm excited. So anyway, great stuff, guys. Thank you so much for your time, and you have a great week, and we'll see you on video with Rex Baudier Sensei. All right. Thanks.